Now, if you look at NVIDIA, since the introduction of ChatGPT and OpenAI at the end of 2022, you've seen their revenues go up about 4.5 times, not the 15.5 that Cisco saw. And you've seen their stock go up 600%, not the 4,000% that Cisco saw. And so, but Cisco also went through some horrific drawdowns within that rise of 4,000%, where it went down 26% intra-year in 1995, late 95, went down 38% in early 97. It went down 37% from peak to trough in late 1998. The stock was up each of those years, but I think we can all agree those were some horrific drawdowns because you were going through some digestion of all that internet spending. And I think that's what we're in for with NVIDIA right now, which is you're going to get some digestion going on from all of this spend, because when you look at the companies that reported, to large part, their estimates went down in the future. And at a certain point, you have to justify the amount you're spending. And so with NVIDIA, if you think about it from another, several years out, I think revenues will double from here. I think the stock will double from here, but I'm not sure I don't believe the stock's actually seen its lows for the year yet.
Here we have the daily price chart for NVIDIA Corporation, stock ticker NVDA. So if we're going to look at this chart from the potential downside perspective, and if it is true that we have not yet seen the lows for the year, then we do need to sort of take some crash analysis assessments here in order to figure out how far prices could actually fall if this type of outlook were to come into fruition. So currently, if we drill into the price chart here, we can see that share prices closed just below the 104.75 mark. We're just below 105. This would be the Friday, August 9 trading session. So we can see currently that this is just ahead of resistance levels, which came in at 108.80. This marks the high from August 7, 2024. So if we are able to see a bit of a movement higher here, there are historical resistance zones that could catch prices and force prices lower. In addition to that, we're also looking at some potential moving averages, which might also provide resistance barriers here going forward. So specifically, these come in at the 50-day moving average to the top side, which comes in currently at 113. So if we were to see sort of a rollover here or some movements higher before a later decline, these are some potential areas to watch here, 108.80 and then 113. If we were able to break above 108.80, the next level that I would be watching would come in at the August 1st highs, which marked price regions coming in at 120.15, so just above the $120 mark. Overall, if this upside is limited in these areas, we could start to see share prices roll over in this area and then start to replace the focus back on prior lows. If we were going to make this type of outlook, the levels to watch to the downside would first come in at 97.50, which would mark the August 8 low. From there, if we were to see another downside break, the next level to watch on the downside would come in at 90.69. This level is quite important because it does match up fairly closely with the 78.6% Fibonacci retracement level that we have been watching previously in prior NVIDIA analysis videos. Specifically, what we're looking at here is this price movement where prices rallied from the lows of $75.60 that posted on April 19 all the way to the stock's all-time highs, which posted on June 20th, coming in at 140.76. In addition to that, we also have this rising 200-day exponential moving average, which is showing on the daily chart. So this is essentially the 200-day exponential moving average. If we were to break below the 78.6% Fibonacci level, we could see a little bit of support being given about $1 lower, because this is roughly where the 200-day exponential moving average rests. However, as we can see here, we've got a triple confluence of events here. There are three different technical factors that are influencing prices in this region, and this does mark a critical line to the downside if we were to see a crash type of scenario unfold for this stock. Specifically, if we did see this price level break, I would start watching the $75 mark, because this is roughly the price level that marks the prior price lows, which came in during the April 19 trading session.
Dan, NVIDIA reports on August the 28th, in about 2.5 weeks from now. Given the concentration, given the leadership within NVIDIA, how much of a market event is this going to be, not only at a sector level for the Magnificent Seven, but the market as a whole? And since CapEx is such an important factor here, if they say everything is fine and they maintain the spend or even raise it, to what degree is that going to restore confidence?
Well, I think you framed it perfectly. It's going to be the linchpin around which this market either advances or goes down pretty hard from here. Because if you go back to the internet build out, Cisco might have been the stock that became the most valuable company in the world at one point. But you also had Lucent, Nortel, Alcatel. You had other companies. There really is NVIDIA, and there's pretty much the list falls off dramatically from there. And so it's the one around which this is all built. The thing that troubles me the most, well, there's several things that trouble me. Number one, because it was the only company that had AI-related chips, and you couldn't get them early on, because don't forget, and it's easy for people to forget this, but in early 2022, before we heard of this thing called ChatGPT, NVIDIA pre-announced negatively on the same customers that are now driving this growth. And their revenues were down 6% year over year. Now they're up over 400% year over year. And so now why did they pre-announce in early 2022? It's because their customers, the same ones that are driving their revenue growth now, had to digest all the spending they did the year before. Sound familiar? And so now you're at this point where these customers all were double and triple ordering because they couldn't get the chips they wanted and they were competing with each other. The chips are now becoming available. Their latest and greatest chip called Blackwell is being pushed out, and supply is starting to catch up with demand. So you put that kind of together and you have the ability for them, I firmly believe they'll beat the quarter in terms of revenues and EPS. But much like you saw with, whether it's Microsoft or Amazon or Google or Tesla, I do wonder what's going. I personally think the guidance could be kind of weak because customers now can order what they need.
So as we can see here, there are some fundamental factors which could limit NVIDIA's price performance gains here going forward. Of course, this does not mean that the long-term view would exactly be the same. However, there are some near-term risks which could suggest that NVIDIA share prices may fall into earnings in upcoming trading sessions. Here's the current market analysis for NVIDIA Corporation, stock ticker NVDA. Our high-value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high-conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk-to-reward metrics that target massive, market-beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership and start trading stocks with the pros.